past 2 or 3 weeks, I have been watching a ton of Squishy Muffinz content. Basically every time that I've had free time, I've been watching him play. But usually in the past, I watch a few of his games, but then I get that itch to just go play myself. These past few weeks though have been different. I've just kept watching, mainly because I'm trying to learn from what he's doing. I started by watching all of his content that's recent on YouTube. Basically, I got caught up on his YouTube videos, at least caught up to where I was before. But then I started just watching his streams, either when they were live or just watching entire old live streams. Now, I stopped keeping track of how many games I'd watched, but I'd say that it's close to 500 or 600 in the last 3 weeks, and easily 1,000 since I've been watching him. I'd say probably way more than that. Now, why exactly have I done this? Well, I've been in a bit of a slump in Rocket League, and I just needed to get some new perspective. Last season, I was just a couple divisions away from Grand Champ, but at the very end of the season, I fell all the way down to Champ 1. Now this season, I'm hovering between Champ 2 and Champ 3 again, and I feel like I just need that little bit of edge to get me to Grand Champ, besides obviously just needing to keep playing. I found that watching high-level play in the past has sort of reset my mentality and helped me get back on track, and I also just wanted to see if I could find some specific things that Squishy does, besides just the obvious stuff. Basically, I hope to find some things that were at least new to me, and this video is basically the result of that. All right guys, really quick before we get into the video, I want to let you know that this is sponsored by GAMERLINK. GAMERLINK is a completely free app that is basically a looking for group app for gamers. So if you're looking to find somebody to queue up with, somebody who's maybe around your rank, or maybe you're looking for somebody to trade, it's really a big place for trading as well. This is an amazing place to do it. I've put a link in the description below if you want to check it out and if you want to download it. It's definitely worth giving it a try if you haven't yet. I hope you guys find this video helpful. Make sure to leave a like if you do find it helpful, and also subscribe for more videos like this one. So the first thing I want to talk about is precision. And I noticed this in Squishy and really all the pro players. They have a level of precision on their shots that we lower level players just don't have. Sometimes we have it, but for the most part, we're not as consistent. And part of this is just time spent playing and practicing. But I did notice something very unique in Squishy's gameplay, and I think I had already seen it, I just didn't really understand it until now. And it's the way that he switches back and forth between ball cam and car cam. Now, this is something that not very many pro players even do. Squishy switches to car cam basically every time he dodges and on every single shot. It's become part of his muscle memory that he just hits triangle when he hits X. And that's why it looks so odd when, for example, he goes up for an air dribble from the ground. The way that it switches from ball cam to car cam makes it look kind of unique when he does it, because he simultaneously hits jump and triangle to switch to car cam. Now, I like to do this on some shots that is switched to car cam, but I'd never really thought of just making it a part of my muscle memory to switch to car cam on every single shot. It's really not that hard to do if you just work on it in free play. Now, I'm not saying that I'm going to do this completely, but I have been switching to car cam on more of my shots, and especially those shots where I've got, an open goal, the ball is maybe coming across the field, and I really need to just hit a solid shot. Those ones that make you really nervous. I found that it's super helpful, and it just gives you that extra level of precision when you're shooting. All right, the next thing I want to talk about is recovering. And recovering is something that really didn't used to be a big part of Rocket League until, somewhat recently. Back in the early days, players were better off, focusing on other aspects of their game. But because Rocket League at the highest level is all about just being a split second faster, a split second quicker to the ball, these little things are what make the difference. Now, Squishy is a recovery god. He's one of the best players at this. When players do manage to get a bump on him, usually he turns it into something that ends up working in his favor. Because he's ingrained these recovery mechanics into his muscle memory, you run into him and he immediately just half flips and drifts and wave dashes or whatever he needs to do to get himself in the position he wants to be in. And this is why players like Squishy and Justin spend most of their time outside of playing actual games, outside of ranked. They're just in free play, working on their speed and working on their precision. Now for them, it's not a bad thing when they miss a shot or even miss the ball completely, because they then get to work on their recovery. And so I'm not going to get into everything that, Squishy does to recover really well. But the best thing is to just watch him in free play and maybe even slow the video down to get a sense of what he's doing. But really it's a feel thing. You just got to go do it. You got to go hit the ball around and try to then get back to the ball as fast as you can, and learn to, do those little wave dashes off of the lower part of the walls, or, half flip if your car gets turned around. There's a lot that comes into this, but again, watching him will really help. So I thought it would be fun to throw this one in there because I really do feel like I need to master this move. Listen to what Squishy has to say about it.
A lot of 50-50 so far, nothing really happening. There we go. That is the only thing in this entire game, guys, that's unsavable. This kind of play is the only kind of thing that's unsavable. Nothing you can do about it. You have to jump up to block where the ball is going to be, and the player who is air dribbling it, as I was there, you have all the control in the play. All you have to do is get the bump. There we go.
I don't know what else there is to say about this one. I've actually felt how powerful it is when I've played against Grand Champs. They literally just will throw the ball up in the air sometimes, and then you just get smacked into the goal. I've never felt like so helpless in my Rocket League career when trying to defend a move. Against other moves, it's like, oh, you know, I know what I needed to do. I needed to jump higher to get to that flick, but you know, I just suck. Against this, it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter how good you are at defense. There is no defense. So learn it if you have the time, and you'll be just as good as Squishy Muffinz. One of the other things I want to talk about is this idea of basically just going for the ball. And I've said this in the past, but watching Squishy again this time, I think it's even more true now. You have to just go for the ball. Lethamyr had an interesting way of describing it to me. He calls himself a ball chaser, and the way that he describes it is that something clicks in his brain that just says go. And when he feels that or hears that, he goes. When he gets that feeling like here's an opportunity, he reacts to it immediately. And you can see this when you watch someone like Squishy play. He doesn't second guess his shots ever, and his reaction to a potential shot is just so fast. And we hear this voice a lot and we ignore it because the ball is flying in a way that looks difficult for us to hit, or in the back of our head we wonder if maybe that guy defending is just gonna beat us to the ball and we'll go flying into their side of the field and you know, they'll score a goal. But really you've got to get to a point where you hear that voice inside you that says go and you listen to it immediately. You don't just like wait around. Playing passive does not work. You're gonna screw this up a lot and you're gonna give up goals. That's how you hone that voice so that it's correct. Like you got to get to a point where you know what it's saying and you just know that you can beat them to the ball or at least get a good 50-50. All right, the last thing that I want to talk about is really the big thing that stuck out to me when watching Squishy this time. He always keeps his momentum. He's always moving no matter what. Now, I'm not saying he's recklessly flying around the field. The biggest thing is that he doesn't let low boost slow down his momentum or slow his team's momentum down. He'll never just sit on a boost pad waiting for it to spawn, ever. Like that's just not an option. And if it's his ball to challenge and he has like 7 boost, he does his best to just get in the play and be what he needs to be for his team. Now, if he needs to be pushing, he'll grab a few pads and he'll push forwards. This is something I've really started to implement into my own game. It's the way that you keep that high level pace up that wears teams down. When you play against players that are just way better and way faster, this is what they're doing. They're maintaining their momentum at all times. They're not second guessing themselves, and you know, they're probably hitting air dribble bumps all the time. All right guys, that's it for this one. I hope that you enjoyed this and I hope that you found it helpful. Let me know down below if there's any other players that you'd like me to analyze. I've made a bunch of how to play like players videos, but a lot of them are pretty old, and honestly, I don't think that I understood the game at that time the way that I do now. If you guys haven't checked out Squishy's stream or his YouTube channel, I really do recommend that you check that stuff out. It's really helpful to watch high-level players, whether it's Squishy or anybody. People like Lethamyr and Justin and others have Twitch channels and YouTube channels. So watching high-level Rocket League will really help you become a better player. Also guys, don't forget to check out GAMERLINK if you haven't already. Again, that's the Looking for Group app that I mentioned earlier that's specifically for gamers. I've put a link in the description below if you're interested in that. It's just an easy way to download it. And if you do download and check it out, you can get a specific badge that is basically like a FLuuMP badge, and it's got like my logo and stuff on it. So if you're interested in that, you can also become part of the FLuuMP family on the GAMERLINK app and get a cool little badge. So I know that a lot of you guys have already done that. Anyways, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time. Peace out.